The concept of assemblage is a cornerstone of the philosophy developed by Deleuze and Guattari. Thomas Nail argues that a fully fledged theory does indeed exist within their text. He provides a formalization of this theory by breaking it down into three parts: its basic structure, its political types, and its processes of change. A primary hurdle for English speakers is the translation of the French word agancement as assemblage. In English, assemblage implies a gathering of things into a single unity or a whole. However, agancement comes from the verb agencer, which means to arrange, to lay out, or to piece together. Philosophically, this distinction is vital because Deleuze and Guattari reject the idea of organic unity. In a unity, parts are defined by their internal functions and cannot be changed without destroying the whole, much like organs in a human body. In contrast, an assemblage is a multiplicity. Its parts are defined by their external relations, meaning they can be added, subtracted, or recombined to form something new without destroying the elements themselves. Assemblages have no essence or unchanging nature. They are defined by events, how, where, and when they function, rather than what they eternally are. All assemblages share three core features that allow them to function: conditions, elements, and agents. The first feature is the abstract machine, which represents the conditions. This is the network of eternal relations that holds the elements together. It is abstract because it is not a physical object, but it is real because the relations it creates define how concrete things appear and interact. It is often designated by a proper name, like May 1968 or Lenin, rather than a general category. The second feature is the concrete assemblage, which consists of the elements. These are the actual physical parts, objects, bodies, or things that are arranged by the abstract machine. The abstract machine or concrete elements exist in a reciprocal determination. When the elements change, the relations change, and vice versa. The third feature is the persona or the agents. These are the mobile operators or roles that connect the elements according to the abstract relations. Personae are not independent subjects who control the assemblage from the outside. They are immanent to it. They are collective third person subjects, the one, everyone, or anyone, rather than a self knowing I. Nail identifies four major ways that assemblages can be arranged, which he calls the politics of assemblages. The first is the territorial assemblage, where elements are organized by codes or natural usages. In these arrangements, the world is divided into segments like a home, a school, or a factory, each with a designated purpose. Change happens slowly through a process of setting and crossing limits. The second type is the state assemblage. Here, the abstract machine rises above the elements to unify and totalize them. It uses overcoding to create centralized hierarchical resonance among diverse points, often reacting back on concrete elements to bring them toward a center. The third is the capitalist assemblage. In this type, relations are stripped of their qualitative codes and turned into abstract quantitative axioms. Everything is treated as a globally exchangeable quantity rather than a unique thing to facilitate the generation of wealth. The final type is the nomadic assemblage. These are arranged to allow unlimited qualitative transformation without hierarchical limits. They are revolutionary because they allow for direct participation and self management without mediation. Most real world assemblages are not pure but are mixture of these four types. To fully understand an assemblage, one must also understand how it changes or reproduces itself through deterritorialization. There are four types of change at work within any system. Relative negative deterritorialization is a process that changes an assemblage only to maintain the status quo. For example, a government might pass a small reform to satisfy a popular movement, effectively incorporating that desire into the state to keep the existing power structure in place. Relative positive deterritorialization describes ambiguous change. In this case, an element has escaped the old system, but it is not yet clear if it will create a radical transformation or simply be absorbed back into an established assemblage. Absolute negative territorialization is a process that rejects all organized forms. While these lines of flight escape old systems, their lack of organization often leads to a suicidal collapse, making them easy targets for recapture by even stricter systems. Finally, absolute positive deterritorialization is a process of creating an entirely new assemblage. This type of change escapes the old system and connects with other escaping elements to build a revolutionary alternative. Thomas Nail concludes that by identifying these structures and typologies, we can move beyond seeing assemblage as a vague term. It becomes a rigorous tool for political analysis and diagnosis. By understanding how an assemblage is structured, what political type it follows, and how it is changing, we are in a better position to direct and shape it toward increasingly revolutionary goals. The focus of his work is to clarify this basic theoretical apparatus so that future analysis of biological, aesthetic, or political systems can be more consistent and effective.